Today I'll tell you in 5 minutes everything you need to know about investing in Denmark. What are your options, what are the taxes, what are the systems you should use, and what is the absolutely best plan. I have over 10 years of experience investing here in Denmark, and I'll share only the most important points with you. First, why investing? Investing, in short, is about putting your money to work for you. Instead of sitting in your bank account or in your home, you literally get that money to produce more money for you. People have been investing since time immemorial, but now in the 2020s, it has become increasingly easy and accessible and in the reach of basically everyone. You don't need to be rich, you don't need to have special connections, all you need to have is your phone and just a little bit of money to get started. There's no licenses you need, nothing like that. You can literally get started right here, right now. That said, Denmark is likely one of the worst places in the world, if not like the worst place in the world to invest in stocks and index funds because of like crazy taxation. But even then, what I do myself and I will recommend to most of my friends is that they still invest. What is the best plan for Denmark? And a disclaimer, this is for informational and entertainment purposes only. When it comes to investing, do your own research before you go and spend your money. You can lose everything, just watch out. The plan is, or what I do myself and I recommend to my wife and everyone I hang out with, is that buy index funds, which is the top pick for 99% of the investors. Do it automatically and do it over the long term in the most tax efficient way possible. That's basically, in one sentence, our plan encapsulated. That's all you need to know. But now for the rest of the video, I'll just unpack that. First, buying index funds. Index funds are funds that basically cover the whole stock market or a big chunks of the stock market. So instead of, for example, buying the Apple stock or the Spotify stock or the Coca-Cola stock, you just buy one fund that covers all of those companies. And investing in these funds have multiple benefits. It's very easy to get started investing in index funds. You don't need to spend time worrying about choosing the right particular stock because, again, most of the times you're gonna get that wrong. They are low risk because they are basically diversified. If one company goes under, it's okay because you have like 500 companies in that fund. And these index funds are cheap. So usually between 0 to 0.5% per year on cost versus like any other type of human managed fund that is more expensive. So again, you get a good deal. Index funds are what allowed me, for example, to set it and forget it and just like even be some kind of investing YouTuber. Because it's just super easy. You just plug and play, set up your system, set it automatically, and you have your money grow over year, so long as the stock market goes up, which not always, but most of the times historically has been going up. I'm not gonna get in this video into the specifics on how you buy these index funds, but there's gonna be a link down in the video description to my free investment course where I do go into more details on those points and also to some other videos where I deep dive more into that as well. The second point is to use Danish brokers. So when you buy a stock or a fund, it's not that you just buy a banana in the supermarket. Literally what you need to do is do that through a broker. At the end of the day, a stock is a piece of ownership of a company, so it has to have some kind of regulations around it. This broker situation in 2023 is just having an app. It's like super simple. But in Denmark, again, as I said, it's a terrible place to invest. In just the graph that you'll see here, you'll see the maze of rules that we have just for buying index funds. Like depending on the type of fund, you can end up paying one tax or another tax rate, and sometimes when you sell, sometimes even if you don't sell the fund, for reference, like 99% of the other countries, if not 100%, it would just be one line from here to here, and then that's pretty much it. Thankfully, if you use a Danish-based broker like Nordnet or Saxo Bank, they'll take care of doing all the taxes for you. So you don't need to know which side of this line you're going. They'll basically cut everything directly, and you don't need to lift a finger. Even if they're more expensive and the fees are like a little bit problematic sometimes comparing to like other European brokers, you just don't want to end up in Scott's wrong side, and these guys take care of everything. Now let's get into the actions. In light of this, my recommendation is twofold. Number one is that you start maxing out something called the Aktiesparekonto. This is a special account where you have streamlined rules. Literally, you just pay just 17% in taxes on the gains of the stocks had each year, and you pay, and I mean, this sucks, unrealized gains. So even if the stocks, like you don't sell the stocks or funds, you'll still pay the gain that you have achieved, even if you again have not sold it. But again, overall it's better than alternatives. Just a catch on this is that you can only put a little bit more than 100,000 krona on the Aktiesparekonto as a starting point before you invest further. In all cases, make sure that your first 100k of investment go to this account, because for tax reasons, it's just the best option. Just for reference, again, you can only open, as far as I know, an Aktiesparekonto with a Danish broker, like again, Nordnet, Saxo Bank, or again, many of the other banks in Denmark. You can't go and open something like this in eToro and so on, as far as I know yet. The second part of the plan, once you have maxed out your Aktiesparekonto, is to use the Månedopsparing in Nordnet. For again, like once you have covered those first 100k on investment, use again this Månedopsparing option, which is the best set it and forget it approach for investment in Denmark, again for people based here. Which basically what you want to do is that each month, the day your salary comes in, the day your income comes in, you have an automatic transfer from your bank account to your investment accounts. And it takes just 1 minute to set up that in Nordea or in Danske Bank, for instance, and then you just know that the money will automatically be invested. What the Månedopsparing setup does is that it will take that money. So for example, you can say that you invest 10k a month, for instance, and then you can set it in advance to what type of funds or what type of allocation you want this Månedopsparing to buy. For example, you can say 50% of this money should go to US stocks, 20% to Europe stocks, 10% to Danish stocks, 20% to emerging markets. And it all does that in the background. Again, you just need to say the exact fund you want to buy. And I mean, of course, I'll share the best options for tax reasons for Danish-based funds in the free course. But then the key is to do this consistently. If you have your Aktiesparekonto maxed out and then regularly invest each month, month over month, over multiple years, this little pot of money can become serious money. I have seen it myself. I have started now many years ago, and now this is a substantial part of my net worth to have it again in stocks. There's some good years and there's some bad years overall, but in principle, I have seen that through investing, I'm a little bit closer with each year to being financially independent, which is what I want to have. If you're thinking about getting started investing in Denmark, just remember that even 1,000 krona per month is enough. It's about building the habit of investment. Just as a last note, for 90% of the people, for 95% of the people, you could say, I just recommend you to stick again to these instant funds. Don't buy individual stocks, don't buy crypto, don't buy art or crowd lending and so on. Yes, you can make money on that, and I have dabbled in some of these myself, but unless you have an informational advantage, unless you're really passionate about it and know what's going on in all these different markets, it's literally not worth it. Again, wouldn't focus on that yet. And remember, getting rich quickly just doesn't exist. So it's all about playing the long game and just being again in the long game. Next up, in this video, I explain the exact approach in more details.